Hey everybody, welcome to the real United States. I'm going to do another DIY episode, even though we don't normally do these, and this is 2 in a row. But this was something that, due to conditions recently, was kind of important to us. Now, those of you who have been following us for quite some time will know that we've been using a handheld stabilizer that's made out of PVC. And this was, in fact, a design by Scott Eggleston over at the Frugal Filmmaker. I've got his link to his channel down in the description below. I want you to check that out. Scott's a great guy. He's got tons of great ideas, great videos, really good dude. So go over and check him out. Now, the difference between the one that Scott designed and ours is that ours is a little bit bigger. When I built this from his design, I had to accommodate our camera, which has a hot shoe and a shotgun mic up on top. So I had to make it a little taller, a little bit wider. It's a little bit bigger camera, but essentially it's the same rig. Well, recently we have been plagued by inclement weather, either snow or rain. Snow's not quite such a problem. You can brush that off a camera, although it's not good for it, but rain is a serious issue. So we started looking for a raincoat to put over our camera and quickly realized that most of them are designed for DSLR cameras, you know, with the big lens sticking out the front, and not so much for camcorders. There are some out there that are available, but then those start getting pretty expensive. So on top of that was the idea that it had to fit over the frame, because we didn't want to not use the stabilizer just because it was raining. You know, you don't want shaky images just because there's rain. So it turned out we decided that the only way we were going to make this happen was to design and make our own DIY custom rain jacket that would fit over the rig. So that's exactly what we did. Now, the problem is that I didn't want to try and deal with it coming over the shotgun mic. And since the shotgun mic, again, it's just we're using that mostly for a scratch track because I use the lavalier mic and an external recorder. So in order to make this work, what I've got to do is take off the hot shoe from the camera. And it's got this big handle and everything. It's got the built-in audio level, level meters and everything. It's real nice, but it's kind of impractical when you're shooting in inclement conditions. So I stripped this down, sorry about that, to just the camera. And then what we did is we sat down, we got us some canvas. This is duck cloth canvas. It's weather resistant. And we made basically a tent. Now, I'm not going to put all the designs and dimensions in the video because it wouldn't work for your particular rig anyway. But it was conceptually important that it's basically just a bag, very much like the commercial ones that fit over a DSLR, but big enough to fit over our rig, with a opening that has elastic and a cinch tie holder, and it just fits over the rig like such. A little bit of finessing to get the opening over the sun shield there. And that's it. No particular reason for the red. We like the red. The commercial ones are available in red, yellow, black, camo. We like the red, so we went ahead with the red. Now that's pretty much it. The problem is the top of the tent kind of falls down in and makes it difficult for you to see in at your viewfinder. So I'm going to show you in just a second how I dealt with that. So all I've done here is I bought a little plastic cutting board from Walmart, about $4, and I drilled 3 holes through it and through the frame, some number 10 screws, some nuts to hold it on. Not even going to paint it or anything. We're only going to be using this when we have the tent on it anyway, the raincoat. And that holds the top of that up nice and square, so you've got plenty of room inside of here now to be able to see your viewfinder We cut this a little large so it would drape down, plenty of room to get your hands in here and be able to use the stabilizer even in inclement weather. So now what we're doing is we're waiting for the rain, which is supposed to be here any time now, to go ahead and show you this in action with the rain. Okay, so we finally got the rain that we were anticipating. It took a little bit longer than we were expecting, but sure enough, it's here. And it's not raining really hard, but it's certainly raining enough that you'd get soaked if you didn't have some foul weather gear on. Now, admittedly, we've got full foul weather suits on, which is probably a little more than what we would need for this amount of rain. But if you were out filming for any length of time, you'd definitely want to be prepared for it so you didn't get soaked to the bone. But as you can see, the camera raincoat, I've set up a second camera over here, and it's performing perfectly. It's keeping the rain off of the camera. It's making it so Bev can get her face in there and keep the rain off of her glasses and be able to go ahead and film me while I'm giving my presentation or whatever it is we happen to be doing at the time. Now, clearly we're going to want to get some Scotch Guard on this to make it a little more rain proof than it is, because it is absorbing some of the water right now, but it's keeping it off of the camera itself. And so for about 20 bucks or thereabouts, we were able to go ahead and make this camera raincoat. Now, it helps if you've got somebody like Bev who's handy with a sewing machine. Bev's really good with the sewing machine. She's been able to make me shirts and things that have been very nice. So if you don't have a sewing machine, aren't good with sewing, maybe you want to enlist the help of somebody else. But for about 20 bucks, you can make yourself a nice canvas bag with a nice little drawstring around the front that'll fit whatever kind of camera rig you've got. It's not really that hard. It took maybe an hour and a half or so to go ahead and cut this out and make some sketches, cut it out, sew it together. And it turned out real nice. So I think it's going to perform amicably for us. Well, I couldn't get that one out. And so now we're not going to be tied down whenever there's rain. Now, I got to admit, I don't really like filming in the rain all that much. The lighting's not that good, but there are those times when the event requires you to be out in this sort of weather, so now we can do that. Now, I don't think we're going to be able to put anything like this on our truck rig. A lot of people have asked about that, how do you protect your camera on the truck-mounted rig? Not really a good way to go about doing that. Obviously, the rain then is going to be coming along with the wind and the movement of the truck and hitting the camera, so probably not going to work for that, but certainly for these handheld shots, it's going to work just fine. So I'd like to thank you for joining us here on The Real United States. I hope you've enjoyed our DIY on our camera raincoat. If you haven't already, I encourage you to pick, subscribe, and come along for the adventure. You got questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below. I try to get back to everybody I can. And as always, thank you for watching.